Who are you? Yeah, who are you? You, sitting right there. I see you. Who the fuck are you? How authentic are you? Do you really think that you're being as authentic as you possibly can? Or do you just sit over here? I don't even fucking know what I'm saying. Do you want to watch me do my nails real quick? I've learned that I was doing it the bitch poor ass way before, where I was just, using like the actual polish, and it was destroyed within like days and stuff like that. Even if I put on like the protective thing on top of it, like it just got fucked up. And then I'm just like, oh, like I can just get like these fucking gel things, and the package is like true. It's not just lying that it's like 14 days. Anyway, hi, how's it going? Auntiekamia here. I've been thinking about some stuff because obviously I came back to YouTube and I've been making videos, and alhamdulillah, I'm so happy that people seem to be really liking them, and they've been doing very good and stuff like that. But when I came back to YouTube, I came back with this sort of idea that I wanted to be authentic, right? Like I wanted to be, this is my emotional support coffee. I wanted to be like authentic and say my authentic opinions and really inspire the people, because I was watching a lot of other content creators doing similar things. So I was like, well, I want to do that because those are just the conversations that I have in my head. Like that whole shit about like, you're secretly hot and you just don't know it. Like I just tell myself that while I'm off like on the fucking bus or whatever. So I'm like, if I'm already thinking this, the people might as well know, right? And I was inspired by a bunch of people. I was inspired by Bailey. I don't know her last name. It starts with an S. It's something, you'll see it right here. Please check out her channel. I mean, she has more subscribers than me, so you probably already, but please go check out her channel. And I was just like, it felt so, because I thought I was always weird, that I always had all these weird questions and shit like that, Like, I always asked these weird-ass questions like, why are we here? What's the point of living? How do I deal with trauma? How do I deal with this? Like, what does it mean about all these things? Am I secretly hot? And I get it, like I said, like, I'm always having these conversations in my head. But I just assumed that, like, nobody else thought like that. I thought I was so unique. I'm not like the other girls. I'm not like the other humans, because I'm having all these philosophical fucking conversations in my head, and nobody else is like that. And then it's like, no, like a ton of people are. But instead of that crushing my ego and sense of individuality, I felt like seen in a way. Like it felt like I was just like talking with like a friend. And it's just like a late night conversation. It's 2 a.m. and we're just fucking going off talking about, aliens and shit. And I think it's something of like, I can't multitask for shit. This video is about me being neurodivergent, and I'm over here just like, I'm not multitasking very well. So I've always wanted to be authentic and myself, right? And that's the advice that everybody gives you. You need to just be yourself. You just need to be real. And my whole life, because I'm autistic or I'm a person with autism, I don't know what the correct term is, I've always felt like I'm, it's not just that I'm different from people, but it felt like I was putting on a mask, and I was just like, because I would study people. And it's funny because I feel like if you talk like this, I explain this without the context of like, oh, I'm autistic, you would think that I was like an insane person, because all the people around me, my friends and stuff like that when I was growing up, and especially like movie and TV characters, I would just like obsessively watch them and be like, so this is how I'm supposed to have a conversation with someone, right? This is how you talk to someone. This is how you segue into a different subject. This is how you act cool. This is how you do this. And I think honestly, one of the notes that I should have realized that I was trans, that I was a woman, was the fact that like almost all of the characters that I studied, especially the ones for how to be cool, were like women, like female characters. And I just thought it was something of just like, it's what's so wrong with that? There's nothing weird about that. But, so it was something of, like, now that I've gotten older, and I think especially, because of that, like, I've always been trying to search for my identity, right? Like, what's the real Kamia? What's the true me? And I think even being trans is a part of that. Like, I thought when I found out that I was trans, and I transitioned, that it's like, oh, well, this is finally it, right? I finally found the real Kamia. And no, it's like, I mean, I felt like, yeah, I found like an aspect of myself that I never, felt like I could really truly channel before and all these things. So I guess in that way I felt more like myself. I even changed my name, but it was just like, I don't know, it still didn't feel like I had gotten authentic enough. And it was something of like, I would dive into psychology. Getting these fucking things off is a fucking pain in the ass. I would dive into psychology. I would dive in all these things to try to figure out who I am, and every single time I would get attached to something and then I'd be like, oh, I finally found it. I got into MBTI and it's like, oh, I'm an INFP. I finally know who I am now and I can be authentic and real, right? And then it's like, oh, well, no. Okay, wait, no, I have to concentrate. Shut the fuck up. Ooh. What do we think? What do we think, girlies? What do we think? I have the autofocus on, so I think it's so funny that I'm a filmmaker, but like my videos always, I don't think they look like shit necessarily, but like the composition's not great. Like the color's not great. I'm not filming in fucking RAW. But yeah, so it was something of like, oh, I found out I have fearful attachment and now I know who I am. And it was just something of like, I kept trying to find it, and then slowly over time I thought that, this is how my fucking ADHD brain works, But eventually I get to the point. No. Tangent, no. Is when I really found out about, neurodiversity and shit like that, and I'm finding out that, like, I'm autistic. Because I never thought that I was. There was always a lot of, murmurings about me having ADHD. But it was like, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not like she needs to get tested or whatever, and it's not like she needs meds. So the ADHD thing was kind of like, yeah, but like, I never thought that like, I'm not one of them, being autistic. And learning about like masking for the first time, like it hit my ass deep. Like it hit my ass deep. Cause like, it's like, oh, like that. Yeah, that's what I do that every single day. And I study people, and because I need to learn, like, how do I interact with people? How do I appear normal? Like, I don't know. It's something of like, when I was a little kid, like kindergarten, like preschool kindergarten, like, was that authentic me? Because it in some ways I would say, I guess it was more authentic than when I was a slightly older kid, right? When I'm in like 5th grade, at that point, I'm masking like a motherfucker. And then the more I get older, middle school, high school, I'm masking, the mask keeps growing out. That's a good analogy, maybe, that it's like, it's a mask, but then it keeps growing away from you, away from your face. So it's just further and further away from you. But anyway, but yeah, it's like, was that really the real me or something? But it's also something of like, well, now I'm like 27. Like, that was like, when I was in preschool, like, I was like, what, like 4? Like, that was like 23 years ago, right? But like, who's the authentic me? Is it that little kid? And then I have all these years, and now I'm here, and it's like, is this the real me? But I think it was definitely something of like, learning about the ability to unmask, I think, was something that was really important and so integral in my like development as a person, in my quest to become authentic. Because it was a way for me, it was a language for me to explain, because it's something of like, just simply having a certain Myers-Briggs type, right? It's like, yeah, that explains like my general disposition, and it explains my like general emotional patterns or whatever. Like, I can see how I'm different from like somebody with a different type. But it didn't explain why there still seemed to be this fundamental difference between me and a lot of other people, me and like normal society or whatever. And it goes just beyond my personality, right? It goes beyond like, oh, I'm this type of person, or I have this type of like, personality type, and that's why I do these things. It's like, no, like, it goes beyond that, man. It's about like my very core, my very being. So now that I knew that, I'm like, well, that's cool. And I've been unmasking, and I'm still doing it, right? Like, I'm still trying to figure out, to me, like, the way that I realize that I'm masking, because it's not something that I do, it's been so unconscious to me to just, like, mask, that it's like, I don't, so now we're doing my other thumb. How long is this going to take me while I'm talking at the same time? Let's see if it finds out. The way that I tell that I'm masking is that I notice that I have an initial gut reaction to either say something or do something or like essentially stim, but then immediately right afterwards, I then get this tinge of shame and guilt saying, absolutely not. Don't say that. Don't do that. That would be the worst possible thing you could do. Shut it down right now. That basically, like, whenever I got that feeling of shut that shit down right now, do not do that. That's actually what clued me into being like, oh shit, I think that that's like me masking. So that's how I know that I'm masking, right? And here's a good example, like recently, is that whenever I'm listening to music and I have like my headphones on, right? And I'm out in public, like if I'm listening to I love like dancing. And when I say dancing, I don't mean like a formal kind of dance thing where it's like do this thing. Like completely freeform, like I'm just by myself, just going fucking crazy, right? It's absolute chaos, but it's like, that's when I feel like the most like in my soul, right? So whenever I'm out in public, I have my headphones in, and I'm listening to music, and I love listening to fucking bangers, you know? But of course, I have this instinctual gut instinct that I want to dance. But this was the first video that I made. I tell, immediately my brain tells me, no, that is the absolute worst fucking thing you could do right now is start dancing in public. And now I'm saying, fuck it. And it's like, if I want to get down, man, I'm getting down. I do enjoy singing. That is a good stim of mine. I understandably do not sing in public. I understand, I get that, right? I get that. That could, it's interesting because it's like some people's stims will interact negatively with someone else's stims. So just, the whole thing of like, if you know one autistic person, you know one autistic person, because if you put them both in a room and they start stimming, they might actually hate each other. But I've been fucking dancing and it feels great. And I do feel like a sense of being in myself. So it's like, is that me being authentic? Like, I don't know, but I mean, it feels like it, or at least it feels more like it. But the thing is that, so I came back to YouTube because I wanted to make these authentic videos, and because it's like, oh, well, when I see someone like Bailey, she seems very authentic, and she's just like, and that's what I want to be. But then it's like, well, am I actually being myself? Or is it just that, like, I'm inspired by her, so now I'm acting like her? Because I noticed sometimes when I was watching back some of those videos that, like, the cadence in which I said things sounded like the cadence that she would say things. But I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I didn't start using that cadence until I started watching her videos. And I do use the cadence more when I'm making a video, but I did notice myself using the cadence sometimes when I am talking to people in general. And it's interesting because I only use that cadence when I'm like talking about these sorts of subjects, and I'm trying to like inspire someone, I'll use the cadence. But if I'm just talking about fucking going to the grocery store or whatever, I don't use the cadence. So it's like, okay, well, like, is that my brain subconsciously saying that like it's linking this kind of conversation with her and then her cadence, and then that's why I'm doing it? But again, it's like, well, is that me being authentic, or is that me just being like, I'm copying her shit? Which is funny because the whole thing is, the point is to be authentic. So I'm not authentically doing myself, I'm trying to fake this thing. But it's like, I don't know, man, because it's like, I don't know, being autistic, it's all about just studying other people. So I feel like I'm just like this mosaic of little tiny bits and pieces from like this person and this person and this character and this character. And I guess you could say that the fact of like my mosaic is going to be unique because no one else is going to pull from the same sources that I do. But it's just like, I don't know, is there a Kamia underneath that? Right? Like underneath all of the shit that I have, underneath all of the things that I have studied and researched and integrated into myself and integrated into my personality and integrated into the way that I talk and the way that I walk and all this shit. Like, is there a Kamia underneath? Or is the totality of all those things what makes Kamia Kamia, And it's just something of like, and I don't know, I have this black and white thinking problem, which my therapist brings up all the time. Maybe I'm autistic. I actually don't know if that's an autistic thing or an ADHD thing. Maybe both. Where it's like, it's this either or sort of thing, right? Either there is a real authentic Kamia underneath and I have to find her, or the complete opposite, and I only exist as a mosaic of all these things. It can't be a mixture of the two. We can't have it be fucking multifaceted and all these sorts of things and shit like that. And it's like, I don't know, because obviously I have to watch back the videos while I'm editing them. And I don't know, I do feel like it's like, that is me, right? That's Kamia, that's me. But there's this like performative aspect of it that I'm like, am I just doing that because that's the video, right? That's the intent of the video, is for me to inspire you. So I'm putting on this cadence, I'm putting on this energy that maybe I normally wouldn't. But it's like, I don't know. But I enjoy being performative. Like, there is a part of me that's always loved putting on a show and being a little bit larger than life. And I do kind of think it's like, if you're trying to inspire people, you can't just talk at a normal level. That's not inspiring, because you're just having a normal conversation. So even if you're saying things that are inspiring, but you're just kind of, I really think that, I really think that it's something of like, you need to love yourself because, you're a really good person. And, like that, I guess that's not bad. But if it's just something of like, dude, like, you don't understand. You are like the best person I know. I've known a lot of people. You are the best person I know. So why shouldn't you love yourself? All these other people, they want to love you, and you're denying that. You're denying that. You need to love yourself, damn it. Do it because it's important. You are the most important person in your life. You are the main character of your life. You need to love yourself. Like, that's, I don't know. Like, isn't that better? Like, I don't know. But then again, see, I'm like, isn't that better? Is it always like outcome oriented? Like, what does it mean? Or is it even possible for me to just be so authentic that I'm not thinking about it? And then, the astrology girly in me, like, that's like my recent special interest, would say like, well, it's all in your natal chart. Like, your birth chart explains all of this stuff. Because I've had it where you don't deserve to hear my origin story yet. I kind of see it as, I don't know if you've ever played like Persona, and I'm sure it's like this in a lot of other JRPGs, where there's like a confidant rank up system in terms of you and another character. I swear this is related. So it's something of like, when you first meet them and you're on a kind of like acquaintanceship basis, you're at rank 1. And then each subsequent rank, you get a little bit closer and closer to them. You learn a little bit more about their backstory, and stuff like that. And you have to wait until rank 9 in order to romance them. I wish real life was like this, where it's something of like, to me, I'm over here and I'm like, oh, I want to romance this person, but I'm only at rank 1. So it's okay. I have to wait until the appropriate time. Instead of it just being something of like, well, I want to do this. So, but it's like, that's not appropriate, Kamia. You've only known this person for like 2 fucking days. Obviously, they're not going to... Okay. Fuck, what was I saying? I don't know. But then I'm like, is the quest for me finding authenticity in and of itself fruitless? Like, is it like, I'll never be able to know this, so I shouldn't even bother in the first place? Like, that's my very practical, I mean, I haven't had this conversation with her, but my very practical, I love my mother, my very practical mother would probably tell me that, like, it doesn't fucking matter, and just, like, live your life, and who gives a fucking shit? Like, who's the real me? Like, I don't, like, who gives a shit? Like, she would just be like, the question in and of itself is stupid. But maybe she's right. Like, sometimes I'm just like, I feel like here's the thing, like, I'm confused by my brain, because sometimes I genuinely love the fact that, like, I ask these weird questions and I make these connections and shit like that, and I enjoy it. Like, I think it honestly, I feel like makes life worth living more, because it's like, if I just lived my life in a completely grounded way, and I never thought about why things happen, and I never thought about the purpose behind things, I don't know, like, to me, I personally, I'm sure other people are different, but to me, I would find that such a boring life. I'm like, why do I even exist then? What's the point of living if I don't try to understand the living, and I don't try to understand who I am and all this stuff? So I don't think that the question of authenticity is in and of itself fruitless. I feel like because of it, I've been able to learn a lot of things about myself in the pursuit of finding authenticity. But perhaps it wasn't the destination. It was the friends we made along the way. So perhaps what it is, I'm just having this revelation right now, perhaps what it is that the quest for authenticity is good, not because I will eventually be able to get to an end result, because that's impossible, but more of by me going on the quest, I will discover things about myself consciously that I normally wouldn't. Like the whole thing about like stimming, right? The whole reason I wanted to unmask was because I wanted to discover the authentic Kamia. So it's something of like, now it's something of like I dance in public, right? And that wouldn't have happened if I didn't go on this journey to try to find authenticity. So maybe it really truly is that like, it is the journey. I mean, the journey is not about the destination, because like ultimately, like think about it like this. I don't know, like ultimately, what's the true destination in life, right? You're fucking dead. You're fucking dead, right? It doesn't, it's the fucking, was it Ben Franklin? Fuck Ben Franklin. Fuck the founding fathers. But what's that bitch? It's like only certainties in life are death and taxes. The only true destination in life is death, right? And you and I might disagree on like afterlife and stuff like that. But even then, even if we agree on an afterlife, the way in which we live in this physical material world won't happen again. Even if you believe in like reincarnation, it's like you're still kind of a different person, right? All the astrology girlies are going to get in the chat and be like, that's not how that works, Kamia. So I guess that's what it is, right? The point of me asking all of these questions, not just about the authenticity thing, is that it gets me to places that I normally wouldn't be. Because it's something of like, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this. And also it's just going to make this video even fucking longer. And I'm self-conscious about that. Like, I'm like, would the video perform better if it's, only 15 minutes? But it's like, I don't know. Does it matter if the video performs better if what I'm saying is true? Because this is what I think. This is something I always struggled in school. Maybe you'll relate to this because I'm neurodivergent. But this is a thing I always struggled in school with, because I feel like there's two, or maybe there's more types of people, but I've noticed there's two types of people in terms of their thinking, right? So there's one type of person, and they think like train tracks, right? So in order for a train to run, you have to put one track in front of the other, in front of the other, in front of the other, in a line, right? Even if it's a track that curves, it still has to be put in a line. And that's how the train moves, right? I think like a spider's web, where you start and you have this one piece of the web, right? But then you kind of curve off over here, and you go, and then you curve off over here, and then you go, and then you curve off over here. And if you stay at that level in terms of what you're seeing, it looks like it's completely random. It looks like it has nothing to do with anything else. It looks like you're completely losing the plot, right? But when you zoom out, you see that all of these little tangents, all of these little weird, rabbit holes that you go down actually makes the entirety of the spider web. Like, literally, the spider web couldn't exist if it was just straight lines. I mean, maybe, like, I don't know, like it could, like, in a scientific way. I don't fucking know. But you see my fucking point, right? That's what a spider's web is. And that's how my brain works. And so to me, it's something of, like, me researching things. So, like, in school, here's the thing. So, like, in school, and I don't mean, like, college. Like, I mean, like, growing up, it was always something of my teachers and I always fought, because they would give me an assignment, right? And an assignment inherently includes all of these very discrete rules in a discrete way. And it's like, okay, well, like, in order to do the assignment, you have to do 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, right? Do it in this very, like, mathematical, mechanical way. But, like, my brain just doesn't work like that. Like, if I'm on step 1 and I'm thinking about it, I'll go off in some weird direction, and it'll seem like to the outside eye that I'm just fucking around and I'm not taking it seriously because I'm off here fucking philosophizing about some bullshit. And even though this is like an economics class, I'm over here reading fucking, 12th century, mystical texts or whatever. But the way how I see it is, this is the question I ask. When it comes to things like an assignment, what's more important? Following the rules of the assignment and getting the assignment done. So just what's more important, completing the assignment or learning the purpose of the assignment? I think it's more important to learn the purpose. Why do I have this assignment in the first place? Because you want me to learn a particular thing. So if the way in which I have to get to learning that particular thing is in a different way, it's a spider web instead of a train track, then why does it fucking matter that I didn't do the assignment correctly if I still got the point of it? And maybe, honestly, I got the point of it better than somebody else who's just doing the assignment, but like maybe they're not really thinking about it super critically, but they're just doing it based off of this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And I understand that like some subjects you can't do that with, right? Which is, I think, why I struggle with math and some sciences, because it's like there's no room for interpretation. There's no room for creativity. It is literally just like you have to do it in this way, and if you don't, like you literally can't. It literally, the formula or whatever, the equation will not work if I try to be creative and start doing some weird interpretations, right? But for me, it's like, sometimes I gotta do some weird shit that seems like it's not related. But if I get the point of it, then like, that's the thing. And here's my question, right? What does this have to do with authenticity? Let me try to think about it. Okay, so I was talking about the journey, right? And the journey being more important along the way. But this one, I don't know if this is related. Well, let me see if I can relate it. Let me see. Let me see if I can relate it. Because this one I'm talking about getting to the purpose, which you would think is the destination. But there's never really a destination. Because life is not just about getting to the end of one assignment. You have assignments because you have other assignments. Ones that come afterwards and ones that come before. So the point is not to be like, I got this A on this one test and my life's over. It's a continual process of learning more and more and more and more. So there is no end destination. There's no end destination to education, right? Like, it's an arbitrary point when you get your degree or when you pass a class, right? And that's because it has to be, honestly, like, right? It's practical. At a certain point, if you do these things, then you get your degree. So that's fine. I don't disagree with that. But in truth, if we're thinking about education and we're thinking about knowledge, or knowledge more specifically, there's no end to it. I can research things for the rest of my life, even if I just pick like one subject, right? Even if I just want to learn about biology, right? It could take me the next 100 fucking years for me to actually truly know. I wouldn't be able to know everything about biology. I literally wouldn't. And like, that's the point, is that it's like my quest for authenticity is a quest, right? And it's like, I'm going to discover things about myself along the way. So, I don't know. I think it's a good thing, honestly, viewing things in this way. Because, well, is it a good thing? I don't think it's a bad thing, but my question is because here's the thing though, what led me down the journey in the first place was trying to find the destination, right? Would I really go down this journey if I knew ahead of time the answer, which the answer is that there's kind of an authentic Kamia and there's kind of not? Then I would have been like, I have the answer and I don't need to look for it. So perhaps it's something, because right now I was like, so this is the thing I should take away from it, is that I should go on journeys already knowing that I can't find the destination. And maybe that's true to an extent, but I don't know if that's necessarily true, because you want the destination. That's why you go in the thing, right? Like, I don't know. Or maybe it's the black and white thinking that's telling me it has to be one or the other. I just think it's something of like, now I'm like, well, I don't know if I went on the destination because I was trying to find the journey, right? Because I'm trying to find the answer. What's the answer, right? And once I find the answer, I'll give up, right? Why would I once I find the authentic Kamia, I give up trying to find her anymore, right? Because I found her. But I don't know. I mean, if I reframe it and I know that it's like, I want to continue trying to find why would I continue trying to find the authentic Kamia if I know that it's a pointless endeavor? But see, now I've already realized it, so I don't know if it's something of like, I can go back. I mean, I'm sure that I can. I'll just delete this video and I'll pretend it never happened. See, I'm trying to fucking get this shit off, and it's just So this is what makes it take even longer, right? Because I think it says that like I have to wait 45 minutes in order for the nail to be done, which like makes sense. But it's like it's gonna take me like 10 fucking hours to get it off of here in the first place. So unfortunately, or maybe I'll film when the nails are done. I'll film when the nails are done so you can see them and feel like we got to the destination. We got to the destination of the video, which was seeing my nails finally being done. There you go. I'll talk to you in a second. Okay, it's the next day, fuckers. Let's see how these nails turned out. I think pretty good. Pretty well. I'm liking them. I don't know if you can see. They're a little bit, because they're like, when I cut the gel, or when I put the gel on, like it kind of like got onto my skin. You actually can't really see it. I don't know. You know, I shouldn't, this is my first time doing this, so I shouldn't be so hard on myself. You know, if I'm being truly authentic, then I think it's good. Alright. Auntie Kamia out, bitch!